Hi everyone, I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of March 30th. Just a little update from me. I am deep now into the final weeks of my pregnancy, so this will be my last weekly cosmic forecast. I will try and be back next week with a monthly forecast for April, assuming I don't go into labor this week. So I'll try to get that out so you have it for April, but if not, you know why. And then I'll try to be back doing the weekly forecasts maybe sometime in May. Just depends how my postpartum journey is going. But I'll be around at least a little bit on Instagram. So if you don't already follow me over there, Forever Conscious, just look for the blue tick. And subscribe to the channel so you can stay updated for when I'll be back. And send me all your good thoughts and prayers for a smooth and healthy delivery. So thank you. All right, let's get into this week. It's the last week of March. We have a big cosmic event happening this week. We have Neptune moving into Aries. This is the first time Neptune has stepped foot into Aries for 165 years. So never before in our lifetime. Whenever we get one of these slower moving planets, so Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, whenever they move into a new sign, it sets up a new kind of generational theme, generational pattern, one that we feel sometimes more on a collective level than we do on a personal level. This is not to say that we won't feel this on a personal level. We, of course, will, but there's a little bit more of a collective consciousness shift when an outer planet moves into a new sign. So in order to understand a little bit about Neptune in Aries, let's take a little look to the past. Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011. So since this time, Neptune being the planet of hopes, dreams, wishes, creativity, spirituality, illusions, delusions. Since 2011, as it's moved through Pisces, what dreams and wishes have you held on to? How have they evolved? What were you desiring at that point in your life back in 2011? Where were your dreams, goals, and wishes being held? And how have they manifested? How have they evolved with where you are today? We can also think with Neptune being the planet of spirituality. How has your spirituality evolved since 2011? Have you had new realizations? Neptune being the planet of illusions and deceptions sometimes. Where have you had to take the rose-colored glasses off or on in your life? These are all powerful questions that we can ask ourselves now that Neptune is moving into Aries, because it's beginning a new cycle, and a lot of these themes are going to be activated or highlighted for us. Neptune's not just moving into Aries and starting a new cycle, it's also ending an old one, this Neptune in Pisces cycle that we've been working with since 2011. I think about this because in 2011, I moved to Los Angeles, which actually was from Australia to Los Angeles, which actually was a really big dream and goal of mine to move out here. I wanted to work in the entertainment industry. This is where it was, happening. And it was a huge goal and a huge dream. And I did that in 2011. So it really gets me thinking about, how that has shaped my life, how that's evolved, where I am now. Do I still want to live here? I don't know. I do have that question sometimes. Sometimes I do wonder about moving back to Australia. So, it is interesting to see how, for me, that timeline has shifted. And obviously, in 2011, I wanted to work in the entertainment industry. And I ended up doing this, astrology and Forever Conscious. And that was sort of my Neptune and Pisces journey. And that door really opened for me when I moved here. I don't think I would have had the same realizations if I had stayed put. One dream led to another, led to another. And maybe there's some part of that that you can resonate with. Maybe you also made a big life decision back in 2011, or had dreams and goals that have now come to fruition, or perhaps that you're realizing outdated, no longer resonating with you anymore. So just something to ponder about. If something stands out, if something resonates from back in 2011. It's a little easier for me because I made a big life decision in 2011. We're not all going to resonate with that. And often when these outer planets are moving, and depending where they fall in your own personal chart, sometimes it can be a little bit subtle as well. So I also mentioned Neptune is the planet of spirituality. So maybe your spiritual awakening happened in 2011. I know for me, moving out to LA definitely was another huge marker on my spiritual awakening journey, because I was completely on my own, and for the first time really having to listen to that divine inner guidance, because I didn't have anything else to rely on. I mean, I have my brain, of course, but I didn't have family. I didn't know anybody. You're really tapping into and trying to listen to those instincts, because comparatively, Melbourne, Australia, where I grew up, is a very small city compared to LA, and the types of people and situations that I was encountering out here were like, big pond stuff. Anyway, so that's something to reflect on as Neptune now makes its move into Aries. Just to give a little bit of a timeline, Neptune is going to move into Aries and stay here until October. In October, Neptune will go back into Pisces and then won't come back into Aries until January of next year. So pretty much for the rest of the year, from now until October, we're getting a taste of this Neptune Aries energy. Neptune will retrograde. It will move back into Pisces sometime in October, and then we'll work with this wrapping up of the Neptune and Pisces cycle from October to January of next year. And then Neptune moves into Aries, where it will remain until 2039. So this is a big cycle. Like I said, it sets us up for a generational sort of energy, generational cycle. Neptune moving into Aries. So what can we expect? Neptune being the planet of sort of spirituality and that more energetic side of life, and Aries being the sign of ego, I think there's going to be, and so I shouldn't say that Aries is not the sign of ego, but Aries is very much associated with our identity and our physical and kind of, our ego to some extent. And I don't mean that as ego gets such a bad rap, like it's a dirty word. It's not a dirty word. It's just, our sort of physical identity. And I think Neptune moving into Aries is really going to tap into that ego identity wound. And to really get us thinking about who we are, and who we are on an ego level, but then also who we are on a deeper level. I think Neptune is going to really disturb some of the things that as a society we have come to identify with, our job, our name. We are so much more than that. And I think Neptune in Aries is an opportunity to really shed and revitalize this idea of ego and self, and maybe give it a little boost and a little elevation of consciousness. I think we're going to probably find that people with Neptune moving into Aries, I think people are really going to want to stand up for themselves, stand up for what they believe is right, stand up for what they think. Aries is a very independent sign. My way. I want to do it my way. And so I do think we're going to see a lot of that. We can look back in history. So this is when we get this big generational planet moving, we can look back to see what was happening 165 years ago. One of the most sort of standout events that I saw 165 years ago was the American Civil War. Now, I'm definitely not here to give history lessons in anything, but That was a great example of people stepping up, taking action, standing up for what they thought was right. And can we see echoes of that same energy again? Sure. I'm not predicting that there's going to be a civil war. There definitely is a lot of unrest, at least in the United States politically. So maybe some echo of that will come up. And I shouldn't just say in the US, there's a lot of political unrest all over the world. But, it could be that we start to see echoes of that energy coming back in. Again, I'm not saying that the same thing's going to happen, but the same kind of themes or underlying themes can present themselves when we have one of these planets returning to an area of the zodiac. I think on a personal level, other than kind of reflecting on who we are as people and our identity and really stepping into who we are and how we want to be known as and who we want to be known as and kind of what we believe in, I think on a deeper level, Neptune in Aries can also help us to really evolve in consciousness and evolve when it comes to our spirituality. Neptune in Pisces is a very soft, compassionate, floaty energy, whereas Neptune in Aries is a lot more direct, a lot more let's pull off these rose-colored glasses and really look at things. Now, Neptune can bring illusions and delusions. Again, sort of the ego self, we can get stuck and trapped in our ego identity. And I think that's something that we may see happening. But I also think that it will allow us to be a little bit more discerning when it comes to pulling the veil back and seeing things for what they really are, as long as we're not stuck in our ego. So that's a little bit of this Neptune in Aries. You can read more about it at foreverconscious.com. I have a whole article dedicated to it. We have some other things happening in Aries this year, which will kind of layer into some of this energy that we're going to be experiencing. Saturn moves into Aries and Neptune and Saturn will be together. And so that's going to kind of color things. So take a look at that article if you want to dive deeper into it. But we've got till 2039 to unlock and understand this energy, right? We've got a while. Whoops, I was just about to shuffle the cards and I got a jumping card, so I'm just gonna go with it. So I was gonna pull a card. Well, I've pulled a card with the intention of giving us kind of a summary, some support for the week. This is from my deck, the Cosmic Astrology Oracle, which hopefully I will have for you soon because I have been sold out for a while. And one card just kind of fell out of the deck and it's Planet Earth. Card number 22 if you want to work with this, if you have the deck. Home. Earth is our home planet and the playground of our soul journey in this life. You have drawn the card of Earth as it's time to reconnect with the planet and all that it has to offer. I guess we talk so much about Neptune, maybe Earth feels left out. I don't know. There are many struggles, tragedies, traumas, and pains that come from living on this planet. Well, isn't that true? But there is also a lot of beauty, love, art, connection, and pleasure that it has to offer too. This card is asking you to connect with all of it and to recognize that all of the struggles mixed with the beauty is what makes life whole. This card can also be your reminder to reconnect with nature, to spend more time outside, and to remember that your soul chose Earth for a reason. It's also interesting, just to stop there for a minute, is that our souls also chose to be here for this Neptune in Aries period, right? It hasn't happened in 165 years. No one alive today has experienced it, and even though I mentioned some things that happened the last time Neptune was in Aries, it's a different set of energies. It's a different era that we're in today. The manifestation is going to be different. And it's exciting. It's exciting to see, what's going to take place, what's going to unfold, and how we're going to be called to really step out of our ego identities, really learn how to be a new citizen of the earth in a way. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully it does. Honor your time on Earth's playground and make the most of what this planet has to offer. So, kind of to summarize this card, feel more at home within yourself. I definitely think that's going to be a manifestation of Neptune and Aries. Find gratitude for all the earth has to offer, ground your energy, recognize that your soul chose to come to earth at this time in history. Understand that the struggles our planet faces are connected to your soul journey. Be of service to causes that make Earth a better place and turn your despair into hope. Well, I kind of think that that fits perfectly for where we're at. We're heading into this new chapter, all of us collectively, and we're being called to awaken a new part of ourselves under these energies. And it will remain to be seen what happens, how our dreams, wishes, and identities and ego and how all of that manifests over these coming years. But yeah, we're stepping into a new consciousness, a new energy frequency. That's pretty exciting. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, if you want to learn more about Neptune and Aries, check out foreverconscious.com. This, as I mentioned, will be my last weekly forecast, and I'll try to release a monthly one for all of you in April. Subscribe to the channel. I'll keep you posted through the newsletter as well. If you want to sign up to the newsletter, I'll pop a link in the description below. And I'll try to keep you updated on what's going on with me and when I'll be back and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, enjoy this last week or last few days of March. We'll be heading into April, new month, new vibration, exciting new chapter. All right, I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com. Thank you so much.